you'll see. Is everybody ready to go? Let's proclaim the greatest radio show.
Welcome, fans, to another great episode of The Spread. I'm your host, Jim Sella, in studio with co-host Jay Dash. We're bringing our Cork segment at you this week. Bringing back Alex Rodriguez and David Ortiz. We've talked about both these guys so far this season. Both of them, they had a hot streak, I would say, at midpoint of the season, but I know A-Rod for sure is cooled off, and he's making it a little hard on me to get to those 30 home runs and make fun of you.
Yeah, we want to know, can Alex Rodriguez and David Ortiz both finish strong? Now, we want them to finish strong for different reasons. A-Rod needs to finish strong to get these Yankees into the playoffs. They're sitting
fun of you.
They're sitting at 73 and 58, second place in the AL East, a game and a half behind the Toronto Blue Jays. But they have a 4.5 game lead on Texas for the first wild card spot and a 5 game lead on Minnesota for the second wild card spot. Brian Cashman actually indicated Tuesday that it will be weeks before Teixeira returns too. He has a leg injury right now. He hasn't played since August 26th. This guy was one of the best players on their team this season. You look, he had 31 jacks, 79 RBIs, and 71 runs so far. And really, he was still hitting well up until he got hurt. Now they have Greg Bird filling in as the primary first baseman with Teixeira out. And Greg Bird is actually a prospect that I like. Now, we didn't do a prospect check on him or anything, but he is a guy that I think has some upside. But there has also been some talk about A-Rod moving to first base down the stretch. You've seen that article the other day. Now, it would be great and all, but A-Rod has to pick it up. He has been playing terrible recently. If you look, on July 31st, he was hitting .282 with 24 home runs, and that's a pretty good season right there. But if you look, last month in August, he hit .153 with a .273 on base and just 2 home runs in 85 at-bats. Now, he's
killing me.
Yeah, he played 1 game so far in September, obviously. Went 1 for 4 with a run and 2 Ks.
4 more, A-Rod.
But if you look, man, he started out real hot in the power department. He had 10 home runs over his first 124 at-bats this season. But he was also hitting just .250 at that point. And really, it was just power with him. But then he had only 2 home runs over his next 92 at-bats from May 17th through June 18th. But he was also hitting .278 with a .384 on base by the time June 18th rolled around. So while his power went down, he became more of an all-around hitter and just a better hitter. And then from that point, he really put it all together, man. He had 12 home runs in his following 110 at-bats, which is even a better pace than he started the season, actually. And he was able to maintain the solid batting average and on-base percentage. You look, he had a .276 average at that point with a .373 on-base percentage. And that was from June 19th through July 27th that he had those 12 home runs in 110 at-bats. And he finished out July pretty strong as well. He went 6 for 14 over the final few games, moving his average to .282 by the end of July, like I was saying, July 31st. But then he really struggled. He only has 2 home runs over his last 103 at-bats, and like I said, he's only hit .153 in August. If you look now, his season average, just .256, although he does have a nice on-base percentage at .363, because you look at that walk rate, 69 walks compared to 113 Ks and 429 at-bats. He only has 26 home runs right now, though, so yeah, it's getting close, man. I don't know if he's going to do it or not, but he's on pace for 32 home runs still, so there is a good possibility he still gets there.
Interesting side note real quick. You said he was going to maybe get some plays at first base. Hanley Ramirez is moving to first base. He's not playing left field at all anymore this year, I read, and they're going to exclusively get him ready for first base next year.
Well, I hope they do that soon so I can get first base eligibility in my fantasy league. But look, the Yankees have actually been able to play over 500 at 15 and 14 since the end of July, and that's when A-Rod really fell apart. But the problem is they lost something, what was it, like a 6.5 game lead?
Yeah.
Toronto in that span. Yeah, so Toronto, I mean, they made all those deals at the deadline, really beefed up their team, and they're on a roll right now. The Yankees, they have 7 games left versus Toronto, though, and 4 of those at home, so there's still a chance they can win this division. And right now, they're through 2 games of a 16 straight division game stretch. And then they go into, well, I guess not into New York. They're going to play the New York Mets at the Mets, though. So if A-Rod doesn't become a first baseman by then, he's going to miss those 3 games, just like he did recently in, I forget, Atlanta, was it? Did the Yankees just play?
I think so.
Some National League team in a National League park, and A-Rod sat in all 3 of those games. So if he doesn't take over the first base job by then, he's going to be sitting those 3 games.
Better not
and it's going to be getting dicey. But really, man, it's not about him hitting 30 home runs. He really needs to pick it up so he can get these Yankees into the playoffs. Because really, I mean, they're 5 games ahead of Minnesota right now, and Minnesota's been playing good baseball. So has Texas. So both of those teams could overtake the Yankees if they don't pick it up a little bit. I mean, 15-14 while A-Rod's playing bad isn't terrible, but Teixeira's not going to be playing right now, and A-Rod's not playing well at all. He really needs to pick it up and finish this season strong.
If he picks it up and they make the playoffs, is he team MVP?
Oh,
not league MVP,
I don't know, man. Jacoby
MVP.
Ellsbury. Well, maybe not Jacoby Ellsbury. Brett Gardner. I mean, he's had a great season. Brian McCann's had a great season. Teixeira was having a great season until he got hurt. I mean, it's hard to say. If he really got to pick it up, though, and bring that average back up. I mean, he can't hit 156 this
Well, if he hits
month.
30 home runs, he's the MVP of the Spread Studios, so
Get
that's
that
good
wrong.
enough.
But Papi, we want him to finish strong, obviously, for different reasons. Boston 61-71. They're not going to make the playoffs. I think they're 14 games back of Toronto in the division or something like that. I didn't even look. I mean, their record doesn't matter. They're done for the season. And they weren't playing well from the beginning of the season. And a lot of it did, well, not a lot, I should say. Some of it had to do with Big Papi. I mean, from the beginning of the season through June 9th, he was hitting .219 with a .297 on base percentage, had 6 home runs and 196 at-bats. I mean, he was giving them pretty much nothing. And a lot of people just thought he was done. I mean, he's going to be turning 40 years old soon, so people just thought he was done. But look, from June 10th until the present, he's hitting .309 with 23 home runs and 246 at-bats. Almost 1 home run every 10 at-bats. And in July, .298 with a .398 on base percentage, 7 jacks and 22 RBIs. In August, .352 with a .432 on base, 9 home runs and 22 RBIs. Look, he hit no higher than .237 in any of the first 3 months of the season. Now he has his season average up to .265 with a .353 on base, has 29 home runs on the season, 26 doubles still, so it's not like it's either single or home run for this guy either. And he has 80 RBIs. And look, another guy that can take walks, not strike out a lot, and hit for power. They're rare. 64 walks compared to 81 Ks and 442 at-bats. Big Papi is still Big Papi no matter how old he is. I mean, you look, man, the reason we want him to finish strong, let's start here.
You keep saying we. When did I get lumped into this? I hate David Ortiz.
You were talking about, man. Don't give me no
Talking
crap.
about.
How can you hate Big Papi and like Alex Rodriguez? It makes no sense to me, man.
Because Big Papi's cocky and annoying. Alex Rodriguez is just a cheater.
Oh, my. Alex Rodriguez is cocky and annoying. Are you kidding me? Big Papi's just a man. Look, he has 495 career home runs right now. He's looking to become the 27th player to join the 500 home run club. And right now he's 9 home runs behind Eddie Murray for 26th all time and 14 home runs behind Gary Sheffield for 25th.
See, how can you like him? He's going to catch Gary Sheffield. He's going to ruin your favorite player's ever record.
It's not a record. First of all, he's in 25th all time.
Well, he's going to end up in 26th once freaking
I mean, that
Ortiz
happens
is
though,
done.
man. You can't take away the 509 home runs that Gary Sheffield hit, though.
You
just
can't take
do
away
it.
the 2 that he got robbed in a game that got canceled.
Yeah, please believe. That's funny. That was bull. But anyways, look, if Papi has 5 more home runs this season and then 2 more seasons of 25 home runs each, he could end up something around 16th place ahead of Mike Schmidt, who has 548 home runs. And I think that's an actual possibility. I know he's old, but you look, man, he has 28 or more home runs in 11 of his last 13 seasons. He has 94 home runs over his last 3 seasons. He actually needs one more home run for his third straight 30 home run season. He also needs 20 RBIs for his third straight 100 RBI season and the 9th time in his career. But look, he has at least 20 home runs ever since 2002. This guy still has it. I mean, he hasn't shown any kind of decline. Yeah, he had a slow start to the season, but I mean, he's finishing strong, and his average at 265 right now, you don't really expect it to be any higher than that at this point. So really all you want to see is that 30 home run power, and he's giving it to you. But even if he had one more season of 25 home runs, he could move in the 19th ahead of Ted Williams, Willie McCovey, and Frank Thomas, all who had 521 each. Like I said, he turns 40 soon, actually at the very end of the season in November. But best case scenario, I would say Big Papi could maybe get up to 11th place. Look, Harmon Killebrew sits in 11th with 573 home runs. Now that's 78 home runs away. He'd have to play probably another 3 seasons putting up 25 home runs for that to get done. And I mean, it's a possibility. People's played the 42, 43 years old before. And really, I think that's it, though, because if you look in 10th place, Mark McGwire, 583 home runs. I don't think he's going to repeat the last 3 seasons. I mean, he has 94 home runs. I'm talking about Papi over the last 3 seasons. I don't think he's going to hit that many more over the next 3 seasons if he does decide to play that long. So I don't see him getting there. And then you got in 9th place, Frank Robinson at 586. In 8th place, Sammy Sosa with 609 home runs. And speaking of this list, in 4th place, Alex Rodriguez, who we are obviously talking about, with 680 home runs. He needs 20 more home runs to get to 700. Now, that ain't going to happen this year, but it's a possibility next season. If he still going to play? We'll have to see what happens with that.
There's the Yankees don't try to shut down any celebration like when he got his 3,000th hit. They were just like, who cares?
But yeah, I don't even know if A-Rod is going to be able to pass Babe Ruth, though. He is in 3rd place with 714 home runs. I don't know if A-Rod has another 34 home runs in him.
There was a point when you thought A-Rod could end up being number 1.
Oh, he was definitely going to be. I mean, there was no doubt about it. If he didn't get suspended for a season and a half, I mean,
he would be breaking Babe Ruth.
I mean,
passing Babe Ruth this year if he didn't get suspended. Maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah, you don't know what happened.
I'd give him about 700 home runs right now if he wasn't suspended. So, I mean, there's a good possibility he'd be passing Babe Ruth at some point soon. But another guy on this list, Pujols, he's in 15th, sitting with 554 home runs. So he has the ability to jump up here in the top 10, top 5 even. But yeah, we want both. Well, I don't want A-Rod to finish strong, but as a baseball fan, you would want A-Rod to finish strong so that the Yankees can make a push towards the playoffs. While Big Papi, you want him to finish strong just so he can get to his 500 home run mark and see how far he can last. See if he can last another 2-3 years and get up into the top 15 home run hitters of all time.
Is Papi the best DH of all time? I know he played first base for a while, but he wasn't really that good.
Probably, man. I would say so.
Dude still crushes the ball.
I mean, you look at all these 500 home run hitters, and most of them had a position, you know what I mean? Hell, Babe Ruth is the best hitting pitcher, I tell you that.
Please believe.
714 home runs.
It'd be sweet if Cole could hit 714 home runs.
If some of these guys played every day, man, I mean, Madison Bumgarner could be a 30 home run hitter if he played every single day.
They just need to let him. He could play first base. Come to the Pirates.
No, just let him play right field. Obviously, he has a gun.
Kids in the Little League World Series go from right field to pitcher all the time.
I forget who the player was, but the Chicago White Sox back in the day, this was like in the 90s, man, they used to put, late in the game, they'd put one of their pitchers in right field, and it actually paid off for him. And there was like a base hit to right field, and he picked it up, and I think he gunned the dude at first base. Like there was like a hard hit to right field, and he picked it up and gunned the dude at first base to rob him of a single.
Loved doing that when I played right field. It was always a good time, especially in softball because people would trot to the base all drunk.
So you like Papi, or you like A-Rod better than Papi?
Yes.
So terrible.
I liked A-Rod as a kid.
So I liked him when he was with Seattle. I ain't gonna lie, but I don't like him anymore. And Big Papi's the man.
Papi can. I'm done with him.
Done with him.
Up there in Boston, always talking in the third person. It's weird. But that's all we got for you in our Cork segment today. Thank you, fans, for tuning in. Thank you, Dash, for coming here and doing all this hard work. Fans, you can follow us on Twitter at bet_the_spread. You can follow me on Twitter at betjimthewin. Check out our Facebook page at facebook.com/betthespread. Keep coming back to YouTube. Keep clicking subscribe.